I would like to welcome my guest, as usual, here in the studio. I would like to welcome Mr. Mirza Naeem. Mirza, how are you?
I'm doing great, glad to be here.
What have you got for us today?
Well, we're going to cover the trends that are going to change the entire world that we live in. As we know, life is changing and we have some visibility what's coming our way.
Ah, so you are becoming a futuristic guy?
Hopefully, to benefit.
Hello, our dear viewers, and welcome again. Let us move directly to Mr. Naeem, and he will tell us more about this futuristic vision of the new technology affecting our life. Mr. Naeem, the floor is yours.
So there are multiple trends that are really reshaping our lives, and we're going to talk about only the top five. Not to mention that there are only five, but there are multiple others. So one that we keep on hearing a lot about AI and the machine learning. And then I wanted to put that into perspective in terms of how does that really help us in our real life? So I'll try to give some examples, pragmatic examples, how do we do that and how it is applied. So one of the best case scenario, most used scenarios would be in the autonomous systems where there are three components. Without getting into too many details of AI, then comes the machine learning, and then there's a layer below that which is deep learning.
Okay.
That's where the algorithms actually communicate. One of the best application of AI would be in healthcare diagnostics. So here you have multiple X-rays to prevent the diagnostics of the X-rays.
To improve the diagnosis.
Yeah, to improve it and also be able to detect it. Early detection is one of the key areas, and the processing of that, I mean today, or not today, but some time ago what used to happen is you would take your X-ray to the doctor and they would put that film onto this white light.
Yes.
And they will
You
see.
remind me of those old days. Yes.
Right. Those days are actually gone, and I'm glad that because doctors can actually see the pattern using the AI and the fast processing of that, and the machines actually do that, and they can predict that somebody's at the risk of having some sort of disease, and they can prevent that. So that's a good thing. So that's how AI helps. And in terms of customer service, we talk about, let's say when you call a bank or a telecom or any service, government is the biggest service provider.
Of the chatbots?
Of the chatbots and the RPAs, the robotic process automation. Those are the trivial tasks that keep on repeating, and they can be automated. That's where AI and machine learning helps.
They are important tasks, by the way, not only trivial, because they are repeated. Many people, the first encounter is these chatbots.
Absolutely.
So they have to be smart enough to reply effectively,
right,
so that people don't put off, you see.
Correct. And the way they work is, so chatbots are trained to answer the frequently asked questions. What's my bank balance? What's my overdue payment, due payment, things like that. But if it's complicated, then these chatbots are very smart to be able to detect the language of the user and say if person is getting frustrated, they can say, well, Mr. So-and-so, please hold on while I transfer the call to my senior.
Okay.
Now, the key thing is when they say I'm transferring the call to my senior, recognize that that's the first time you're going to be talking to a human.
Exactly.
So before that, you were talking to a machine, and they're so advanced that they can now one cannot tell that this is a chatbot.
Because they have a database, they have answered all the questions, possible questions. As
Correct.
A matter of fact. So if they have answered all the possible questions, the first-time caller, or the caller in this case, then I think, as you mentioned, unless there is an odd question,
correct.
this chatbot doesn't know how to answer.
Precisely. Precisely. So the rule of thumb is maybe 70-80% of the questions could be answered by chatbot, and then only 10 or 20% could be answered by a human. Now imagine the cost savings that comes in, because all of a sudden you don't need to have army of people to answer your phone calls.
Exactly.
Now, comes with that is certainly some of the challenges, the ethical challenges, the data privacy issues, and the regulatory compliance, which the regulator is doing a great job in making sure that accidents will happen. We have been driving cars, but we still have accidents. We can minimize them, but they will happen. So I wanted to talk about that, and let's go to the next biggest trend that I feel that is going to reshape our lives are the robots. Robots we need to coexist with robots. Now, there's nothing to be scared about robots. We have had robots many times here in this show, and they're not scary. They're very
friendly.
They're friendly, and then they do exactly what we teach them.
Exactly.
And at a funny
They learn.
They learn. So some of the applications of these robots could be in the industrial automation, where we all have seen the robotic arms moving around and building cars and things of that nature. Then there are service robots. So, for example, there could be applied in the hospitality industry, the telecom retail, the banking retail, where they're welcome and then they can redirect the traffic of people and again mostly answer the questions what they need.
Exactly.
Agricultural robotics is agricultural tech is one of the key areas when we look at the speed and the accuracy and just working 24/7. That also produces quite a lot of benefits for the farmers.
Yes.
The challenges that will come into place, yes, some of the repeat jobs will be displaced, but then key thing is to really learn and then go over to learn new skills.
Well, there is a threat for this AI on some jobs, yes.
Absolutely. And then automation has been going on since invention of wheel. So it's nothing to be scared about. We just need to always learn, and that's. I read it somewhere. It said the successful people of the future will be the ones who will be willing to unlearn what they know and relearn new things. That's a very powerful thing that I
unlearn. How can you unlearn? You see, you have already learned.
That's the most complex things, really. It's to unlearn something, because we as humans, we say, well, that's how I always did things. But then unlearn that and then relearn new things, we need to be ready for.
Well, this is a critical issue. You see, this is something which you have to.
Change the future's direction from robots that roam to AI.